Hello students, good morning. I am M.S.THAKUR, Assistant Professor in Electrical Engineering Department at Chandigarh University, Chandigarh Polytechnic College, Kuruma. In today's lecture, uh, we will learn about the managing self by intellectual development. Let us start with the PPT. Here we go. This is the chapter number 4 according to your syllabus. Managing self by intellectual development. Intellectual development means the resources from which you get the information. The term information is used differently by different individuals in different walks of life. From specialists working in information-based profession such as communication, media, and information management, to those in the computing and cognitive science, as, as well as by people involved in less scholarly pursuits. In it, the main part is source of information, how you can collect the information for your work. Sources of information. Source means the origin of something. An information source is a source of information for somebody. For example, anything that might inform a person about something, for provide knowledge to somebody. Information sources may be observation, people, speeches, documents, pictures, and organizations. Information can come from virtually anywhere: personal experiences, books, articles, expert opinions, encyclopedias, and the web. The type of information needed will change depending on its application. The individuals generate information on a daily basis as they go about their work. In academic institutions, staff and students consult various sources of information. The choice of the source to consulted is usually determined by the type of information sought. The sources of information can be divided into three categories. The first one is primary sources, second one is secondary sources, and the third one is tertiary sources. Here we go. Let us start with the primary sources. A primary document is a document that was written at the time of an event or period of research. Primary documents therefore include literary texts, letters, speeches, and historical documents such as birth certificates and diaries. In it, we can include autobiographies, correspondence, email or letters, description of traveling, and the last one is diaries. The primary sources are first hand, means direct from the source information. Primary sources are also called original sources. Primary sources are original materials on which research is based. They are usually the first formal appearance of results in print or electronic format. They present original thinking, report a discovery, or share new information. It is a document recording, artifact, or other source with direct personal knowledge of events. It serves as an original source of information about the topic. For example, the person, interviews, diaries, research, internet, original documents, certificates, and newspaper articles written at that particular time. This is all about the primary sources. And the next is secondary sources, secondary documents. A secondary document is written after an event. Usually, the authors will not have witnessed the event themselves. Such documents are usually written with reference to primary documents and attempt to provide an interpretation. Biographies, encyclopedias, dictionaries, handbooks are also the example of the secondary documents. Textbooks and monographs on a topic, literary criticism, and interpretations. Secondary sources are analyses of primary sources. Secondary sources are less easily defined than primary sources. Secondary sources are record or statement of an event or circumstances made by someone not closely connected with the event. They are interpretations and evaluations of primary sources. Secondary sources are not evidence, but rather commentary on and discussion of evidence. For example, reference material, book, CD-ROM, magazines, videotapes, audio tapes, TV, and newspaper. These are some examples for secondary documents. And the next one is tertiary documents, tertiary source of information. Tertiary documents usually act as pointers to primary and secondary documents. They are indexes, dictionaries, bibliographies, and other categorized collections of information. Means document that you can turn to and be guided to other potentially relevant documents on a particular subject, chronologies, classifications. These are the some information about the tertiary sources. Tertiary sources are relative term. Tertiary depends on what is considered primary and secondary. Tertiary sources are the combination and collection of primary and secondary sources. For example, internet website, graph, chart, diagram, and tables, dictionaries, fact book or guidebook. These are some examples for tertiary sources. And the next topic is reading. Reading is a complex cognitive process of decoding symbols in order to construct or derive meaning. Reading is a means of language acquisition, communication, and of sharing information and ideas. Like all languages, it is a complex interaction between the text and the reader, which is shaped by reader's prior knowledge, experiences, attitude, and language community, which is culturally and socially situated. Reading is a tool of learning. It is one of the most important skills. Through reading, we acquire a great deal of information about the world, country, and our environment. It makes a relation between writer and reader. Through reading, readers gain the knowledge of the writer. This skill is very important for students It is just medium of communication. According to the reading, there is some definitions. The way by which you can increase your knowledge base is called reading. Or reading is a means of communication and of sharing information and ideas. And the next one is different styles of reading. Here are some styles of reading. The first one is skimming, scanning, intensive reading, and extensive reading. We will discuss these styles one by one. Skimming reading method. Skimming is a method of reading a particular passage or chapter in order to determine the main idea of a particular piece of written material. An individual that is skimming is not actually reading the material very carefully. It is just searching for the main idea of each paragraph. For example, if an individual identifies the main idea of a long chapter in order to determine if that chapter is related to what the individual is studying, then he may need to skim the chapter. It is done only for searching for the main idea of the each paragraph or passage. And the second one is scanning. Scanning is the method of reading a particular list, sentence, paragraph, chapters or passages in which an individual is searching for specific facts related to a particular subject. Scanning is not actually reading the material very carefully. It is just searching the material for a particular piece of information very quickly. For example, if an individual is having difficulty in answering a particular question, if he wants to scan a related material to find the answer, he may not know the answer to the question. Scanning is not an effective way of studying. It is only a method of finding specific information. So, an individual that scans without knowing specially what he is looking for will usually miss key information or misguide him. The next example is intensive type of reading or intensive reading style. It is the method of reading a short text for detailed information. By this method, a student can gain more and more knowledge. You can use intensive reading skill to grasp the details of a specific situation. In this reading, it is important that you understand each word or fact. For example, insurance claim or a contract. These are the examples for intensive reading. And the next one is in extensive reading. In extensive reading style, it is a method of reading longer texts, often for pleasure and for an overall understanding. Extensive reading is reading a lot at a fairly easy level so that what is read is comprehended without the use of dictionary. The purpose of extensive reading is to increase language proficiency with particular increases in reading level and speed. These are some types of reading. The next one is note taking. Note taking skills are critical in secondary school and college settings. Effective listening, clear handwriting, organized outlines, and recording of key points are among the most critical note taking skills. Students can often work with guidance, counselors, or certain instructors to improve skills. Skilled note taking enhances academic success. Note taking is the practice of recording information captured from a transient source, such as a meeting or a lecture. It is the practice of writing large amount of information in a short form. Note taking is very important skill for students during the exam. It is not possible to read the whole book at this particular time. Notes are some well for preparation. So, students should improve our note-taking skill. The next topic is steps to effective note-taking. These are the some steps for effective note-taking skill. How you can improve your note-taking skills. The first one is choose a medium and stick to it. The second one is focus on main points that is important for that process or event or topic. Use shorthand. The next one is make use of flowcharts and other diagrams. It makes easy your note taking skill, and further you can easily understand the topic with the help of flowcharts or diagrams. Make use of tools. Stay organized. Rework and review your notes if required. Simplify your notes for further study. These are the some important points for note taking. The next one is writing. Writing is a medium of human communication that represents language and emotion through the inscription or recording of signs and symbols. In most languages, writing is a complement to speech or spoken language. Writing is not a language but a form of technology that developed as tools developed with human society. The art of explaining ideas, thoughts, feelings on a plain paper is called writing. Writing is arranging the ideas for the readers in a simple way. It provides ideas on the topic in a simple and short manner. It is both interesting and challenging act. It is the need of the students to get clear picture about the topic. And the next is types of writing. There are some types of writing I am explaining you. Types of writing will help you determine one suitable type for your topic. These are categorized in four manners. The first one is narrative writing. In that, you can to tell a story for long writings, paragraphs. Descriptive writing means to create a clear picture. Expository writing to give some important information. Persuasive writing to convince the reader. Narrative writing. A narrative is a story that is created in a constructive format such as poetry, speech, prose, pictures, songs, motion pictures, for example. It describes a sequence of functional or non-functional events. Narrative writing is also used to generate new ideas. Experiences are narrated. Events and happenings are narrated. Media stories are narrative. In descriptive writing, it is a type of writing that is used to make clear pictures of your objectives in your memory. Draw a picture of your objective visualization. It is your mind or place yourself comfortably near the object. Sketching the object also gives you a creative outlet when you struggle for putting pen to paper. When we make up experience from memory, we create images and describe them in writing. These are some types of writing. That's all for this chapter. If you have some questions or queries, you may free to ask. I have done for today. Thank you.